Power is something that can be very elided in the most of things, but it all comes down to how we utilize our power. Are we utilizing our power for the highest good, or are we jumping and kickstarting and using it for the lower part of in our evolution? This power can be very great and grandiose, but it can also be destructive and bulldozing. We need to be mindful of the use of our power in order to achieve what we need to achieve, not projecting it onto others, not being mean and evil, being harnessing in the best sense of words. And that is certainly true if we're talking about the sun in a square aspect with Mars, which is occurring on October 14th. So let's talk about the astrology of October 14th. And when I get done talking about the astrology of each day that I discuss in this video, both October 14th and 15th, I did pull cards from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I've used this deck quite a bit. It is a beautiful and gorgeous deck, and I want to share it with you. And on the next video, I'm going to be using a brand new Oracle deck called the Mystical Healing Oracle, which the art is very Renaissance and medieval like artwork, and I'm very excited to share that deck with you. More on that when we get there. But let's talk about the first aspect of the Sun square Mars. This is a very difficult aspect. It can bring about irritation, volatility, just to name a few things. This represents our character getting tested, our character getting punched in the stomach of what we are doing coincided with the answers of all the questions that need to be answered. And so when we're thinking about our character being tested, we're thinking about our ego conflicts in the making suit of what we're doing. We're thinking about all the dillies of all the little things that we have to do and all the things that we have to get done. And there may be resistance to what we have to get done and what we want to get done. There may be resistance to asserting ourselves. So, authority figures looking to assert their power is a high aspect here. So, we're thinking about authority figures asserting their power, getting themselves in the makers, and getting themselves all ready to go, and for them to be high in the mighty as they might be. So there may be authority figures that will assert their power in not so healthy ways at this time. Do not get into ego conflicts. Let your soul lead the way. Do not let your ego take over and be all kinds of bad, reminiscing, sort of in-mightying what is going on. So you want to make sure that your ego is getting checked and it's not taking over. This brings about irritability. This also brings about a very, very strong need to act on impulse. The reminder here, because it's a square, is to really, really consider the actions and decisions that we're making before we just act out of impulse. That's what this is reminding. Any square reminds you to rather do the opposite of what the planets are suggesting. So in this case, it's seeking out negotiation, it's seeking out compromise, it's seeking out diplomacy that we have to be very, very mindful of. Certain challenging events may force you to defend yourself, your family, your clan, your own vetoes. Certain events may force you to become very, very defensive, and defensiveness is called for at this time without destruction and without bulldozing, as I said at the beginning of this video. So this can bring about aggressive frustrations. We're feeling frustrated, we're feeling they need to be more aggressive. This is a good opportunity for us. The positive aspect of this is we're ready to take on a challenge. We're ready to act. We're ready to put ourselves in the maker seat of what we're doing. We're ready to face challenges. We're willing to conquer things. This also brings about patience and diplomacy. So both of these things are really, really important to acquire and develop this time. making sure that our assertiveness does not turn into aggression is really, really key here. That we're not becoming aggressive with how we're asserting ourselves. This may be a spur up of new projects that may come about, the desire to start new projects. It's about channeling your strength in effective ways, channeling your inner strength in effective, minutile sort of ways. This is not a good time for initiating an argument or asserting yourself. It's not a good time to really pick your battles and really thinking about, is this issue worth fighting about? Is this going to bring me results and fruit, or is this going to lead me in a circular conversation with this person and it's going to lead me cold from the Santa Claus of Satan? So we need to be really, really mindful of the battles that we're choosing to pick and weigh out the battles and how important they are and how unimportant that they are before we fight them. We need to seek out peace and compromise at this time. We need to also return to a calm place. If somebody is um, fighting, getting on the defense, being very aggressive, very boisterous, very loud, very domineering. We have to retreat to a calm place, either by meditation, closing our eyes and breathing, leaving the room, whatever helps us return to a calm, centered place. We must do that at this time. Anger may come to a head, and you may explode it out in destructive ways if you have been keeping it in. It is so important, I really stress this quite a bit, of not keeping in your feelings, but expressing your feelings in constructive ways when you feel them. Because when you bottle them in, it's like the volcanoes stirring and boom, it explodes. And then you're exploding it out in very destructive, unfiltered ways because you can't keep it in anymore. You're so constipated that it just comes out in ways that you can't really control. So it's important to let it out, release it when you feel it, first of all, that we are not bottling it in and keeping it in. Um, so hard work is favored at this time, putting in a lot of hard work and exercise, working at your body, being physical, great to do at this time. Venus will also oppose Uranus. So when Venus, the planet of love and relationship, is forming an opposition to Uranus, the planet of rebellion, shakeups, stirrups, um, revolution, futurist qualities, teleporting to new dimensions, we can really, really think about a change to our love life. So this brings about changes to our love life, changes to our relationships in general. Unexpected events may cause stress and tension. So it's important to be mindful of these types of events and how they're showing up and where they're showing up in your body, um, wherever they may show up for you, and release the stress and tension in constructive ways. Maybe you feel a very, very strong desire for change, for shakeups, for stimulation, but this is being rejected at this time from you. There may be drama in relationships. There may be significant changes in relationships at this time. There may be changes to your love life, as I said before. Some changes may unwelcome shakeups in your life. So these unwelcoming shakeups and changes may come about. Are you willing to make the changes now so that the universe doesn't thrust it upon you where you're uncomfortable and where you're resisting it? And then you're forced to change and you do it the hard way. Do it the easy way. Make the necessary changes before the universe's sledgehammer comes down upon you. So we need to evaluate our permanent separation in relationships because you may be separated in your relationship. There may be a separation in your relationship. If you are single at this time, you might find it very interesting and stimulating to have form relationships at this time. So it's good to put yourself out there and meet all kinds of different people and learn their perspectives of life, learn about who they are. have conversations with them, interact with them. This can fare very, very smoothly for us at this time. And so we may feel the need for freedom in relationships. Maybe we're feeling restricted, maybe we're feeling tied down. We need to free ourselves from bonding, dominating, controlling people in our relationships and have freedom in those relationships to do our own thing and march to the beat of our own drum. This is good for dating people on the internet because Aquarius rules technology. So if you find value in doing that, this can be a very positive aspect for that. The changes and shifts may not only manifest in your relationships, but they may manifest in another area of your life, such as your finances, for instance. You may not know what you necessarily want in your relationships because you may have mood swings, you may change your mind, you may draw different conclusions to things as you explore different things. There's changeability and volatility here. And so there may be a strain in your relationship. There may be a suffering in your relationship. So something might happen that causes negative effects in your relationship that in general is change. This is good for any kind of gaming or entertainment activities as well. This is good for exciting and unexpected encounters that you may find. This is good for meeting people whom are very, very different than those you are used to interacting with and working with. Open the gamut up. Open yourselves up to many, many different kinds of people with many different kinds of viewpoints and experiences in life. Um, and so this is good for attracting new and liberating forms of social interaction. So, socially interacting with other people is what is called for here. That you maybe feel very, very called to do this. So there may be things that expose you to different worlds as well. This is good for renewing your relationship. Now, I did pull an oracle card from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And the card that I pulled is the card. This is a beautiful card. The Age of Light. You have been preparing for this for lifetimes. I hope that you can see it holistically. So this is what the card looks like. So this is about stepping into the light of your life and being bold and courageous, really putting yourself out there, being very expressive and emerging of yourself. You are prepared now. You've been preparing for this for lifetimes. So it's good to step into peace, and you're supported at this time of great change in our history because we're living in a shift. We're living between the processional cycle of the age of Pisces and the age of Aquarius. So we're shifting. So you are supported now. And certain experiences have trained your soul. This is about learning to be authentic as well, learning to be true to yourself. And you are a unique masterpiece. You and yourself are unique, and you can produce beautiful, wonderful, significant things in the world. This is a time to be bold and to not be afraid of being seen and step forward in your life. Put yourself out into the world because you are prepared now. So let's move on to the astrology of October 15th. So the very, very first thing going on is we have the moon coming into a trine with Mars in Cancer. So the moon's in Pisces, Mars is in Cancer. This is a water trine. So we may feel very reactive on an emotional level. So this creates passion. There's a fly flying around here. This may create passion and desire. You're feeling passionate, you're feeling like you're desiring certain things. This creates attraction. You know what you want and you know how to get it. You may be more in touch with your sexuality as well. This is good for standing up for yourself and others that you care about. Really, stepping forward and being, protective of those you care about. You may develop and have good leadership qualities at this particular time. That may be part of this. You may have good qualities of leadership that you can rely on at this time. This is good for initiating changes in your relationships, finances, and material possessions. And if you act assertive, you will not be perceived as aggressive, but rather as genuine and honest. So you will be looked on in positive ways and really caring about the truth of matters. That's how you'll be looked upon in this way. It's important also to set healthy boundaries. That's important. You may have a lot of passion and enthusiasm for life. Um, and so this is about getting past your insecurities, as to what you want and what you desire. Um, so the very, very next aspect that we're going to talk about is the moon coming into a square with Jupiter. So this is about, we have well-being and very few results in drama. This can bring about changeability and indecision. We may feel indecisive, and we may feel the need to change something, expand something, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So socializing is favored at this particular time. If we're socializing, it's a good time to socialize. We may feel more excessive and indulgence in food and alcohol, so that may be something to watch out for. This can produce a very, very confident quality. We're feeling very, very confident, willing to go after what we desire to go after. But it can also be overconfidence if you're not careful. Do not lower your standards in relationship. That's another key piece here. You may be feeling overly generous at this time, wanting to give, wanting to serve, wanting to help, in ways that you're overextending yourself and you're biting off more than you can chew, and you're overpromising and not delivering on those promises. This brings about optimism and philosophical contemplation. It's good to get involved with philosophy at this time. And what can you do to expand your emotional horizons? That becomes paramount here. This is about being supportive and compassionate. Um, your finances and your material generous may be involved with this. You're feeling more like you want to give away certain things. Um, and are the ways that you offer support sustainable to those you love? That's another thing to consider at this time. So we have the moon coming into a sextile with Uranus now. So this is a good time to try something new in your home and personal life. Try something new. This is good to find new ways of doing things and experiment. Find new ways of approaching your life. Find new ways of putting on a saucer plate. Find new ways of zipping up a luggage. Find new ways of making a bed. Finding new ways of doing things that can be very good for your inventive nature. You're feeling more innovative at this time. You may find valuable information from the people that you encounter and the information that they spew out. And surfing the net, you may find valuable information there. What are the influences and beliefs that affect you? And do you need to change those influences and beliefs? Do you need to release those influences and beliefs? This represents the jump start into a new era of your life. Um, And so this is good for getting involved with groups that work to create social change. There may be important issues impacting others at this time. This is good to leap into new opportunities, and you may resist being defined by others. You don't want to be defined by others. You want to be defined by who you define yourself to be. You're not choosing to be defined by the projections of others. You're choosing to live from the inside out. That is a very positive quality with this transit. It represents sovereignty. It represents individuality. It represents independence. So very, very positive at this time. So the moon in Pisces is going to conjunct Neptune in Pisces at 28 degrees of Pisces. Because the moon and Neptune are joining together at this degree. So Uh, Anyata can Beal, that's what I have to say. So the moon conjunct Neptune. So what can this bring about? Well, first of all, you're feeling more vulnerable at this time to scandal and deception. You may be more vulnerable to these types of things, more easily influenced by these kind of things. This is good for increasing the compassion and love for yourself and others. Your dreams may turn into fantasies, so it's important to be true to your dreams and make sure that they're not pipe dreams. Um, you may be filtering out what is not true as well. So that becomes very important, determining what, discerning what's true and what's not. Um, your empathy at this time is genuine and heartfelt. You're really expressing it from your heart. You're really being empathetic towards others and self in a genuine kind of way. Um, there may be emotional comfort. Um, there may be emotional comfort, you or others, that has a healing quality to it. So either you give out the emotional comfort or you receive emotional comfort from others that's very healing. Um, it's important to determine the difference between fantasy and reality. You may have low immunity to sickness, so it's important to take care of your hygiene at this time. You're more susceptible on picking up on subtle energies, both positive and negative energies. You're more likely to daydream at this time. This is good for being creative and furthering your creativity. This is good for yoga, meditation, and time in nature that can connect you more deeply to the present moment. So, having and experiencing more time in nature and doing these things can really make you the present moment, can really make you grounded. So, anything that helps you get grounded, now is the time to do that. This is good for also setting and maintaining healthy boundaries and prioritizing your well-being, making sure that your boundaries do not get crossed, making sure they're strong, firm, solid boundaries that you're putting up for setting yourself free. Because one of the issues with Pisces is that there's no boundaries. And so it becomes critical now with setting boundaries. Um, and so this is how you can prioritize your well-being. The final aspect going on is we have the moon coming to a sextile with Pluto. So this brings about richer emotional experiences. You're richer for your emotional experiences. You may be drawn to the depths of your emotional landscape. This is good for any release and transformation in your life, transforming your life. This is good for doing anything that helps you access deeply buried fears and traumas, such as meditation, for instance. This is good for nurturing yourself. There may be huge changes to your personal life as well. You may have a lot of huge shifts and changes coming to you in each transformations as well. Now is the time to let go of what no longer serves you. Purge whatever you need in your life. Purge whatever you don't need in your life. Letting go of that old baggage and that old energy that constipates the energy and keeps it from newness. And um, becoming involved with what is new in your life. So there may be this is a good time for meeting somebody who has a profound influence over your life, developing a closer relationship with them and allowing them to transform you. You may have a greater control over your subconscious at this time. There may be also mystical experiences. And this is good for probing beneath the surface to solve mysteries, really finding the truth, really digging down deep to find the truth of what is the truth of the matter, what is actually going on. And so this is good for creating a sane and valued flavored environment, creating an environment where you're seen and valued, and empowerment. Any kind of empowerment, self-empowerment is positive at this time. Now, the second card that I pulled, this card is for October 15th, is another beautiful card, which is called Sisterhood of the Rose. And the soul inquiry keywords here are beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. So this is what this is about. This is about embracing not only your beauty and recognizing the beautiful parts of who you are. It can be beginning with looking in the mirror and saying that you are enough, thinking that you are enough, that mental health suite is high level at this time. But it can also be, embracing your own beauty and accepting yourself and embracing the beautiful parts and good parts that you love and like about yourself. This is good for starting among your ancestors and celebrating your life. Stand among your ancestors at this time, hence the multiple individuals in the card. Um, Stand among them and celebrate your life. What are you devoted to? Now is the time to think about what you're devoted to and put your attention and energy into the things that you're devoted to. This is good for seeing and creating beauty wherever you go, recognizing the beauty in your life, recognizing the beautiful sunlight shining through the window, the beautiful trees and flowers. We're in fall time, so recognize the beautiful changing colors of the trees and the leaves. Recognize the beautiful wallpaper in your home. Inside and outside beauty, both are valid at this time. So it's about noticing the beauty all around you. This is also a good opportunity also to spend time in nature, to connect with nature, recognize the beauty in nature, and you give back to the beauty of the world. The world is beautiful, but what beautiful things can you give and contribute to the world that adds to the symphony of beauty in life? So that is your astrology and oracle card readings for October 14th and 15th. I do apologize for this video being late. I came home very late at this last night and I had no energy to film the video. But I should film another video for October 16th and 17th tomorrow. I'm going to film that tomorrow morning. So just expect that video to come out tomorrow. And it may not be actually, I changed my mind because I'm actually going to film it as soon as I get that mystical healing oracle deck, which I'm going to be using on the next video. As soon as I get that deck, I will be filming the next video for October 16th and 17th. It's such a gorgeous deck. The messages are so good, and I'm excited to share it with you. So look forward to that next time. But anyway, bye for now. Safe travels, safe love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. If I can get the... Oh my gosh, this is not good. Not good. Trying to get the Zoom thing pulled up. There we go. Okay.